Stormy, and you know winning isn't everything. You know what they say, life is a marathon, not a sprint. Sometimes, you just gotta take in the view. Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Daily Deposits. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I made it really easy for you. All you have to do is click the OB logo at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen to subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you did that right now. Okay, on today's episode, I'm gonna be collaborating with somebody who I really respect and admire. Not only is this person strong and fit, not only is this person a beast, this person is a woman. Her name is Stormy. Say what's up to the people, Stormy. What's good?
What's up, you guys? How you doing?
Good, we good.
Thanks for having me, Omar.
Yes. Thank you for joining me. Me and Stormy are actually going to cook up a HIIT routine right here on this bridge that you guys see. We're taking advantage of being outdoors and practicing social distancing, as you can see here. We're also going to introduce you guys to a new piece of equipment, which is called the
Inertiawave.
Inertiawave. Thank you for helping me out there, Stormy. As well as kettlebell routine. So we'll go ahead and get into that. And after all of that is done, we're going to go ahead and sit down with Stormy so she can tell us a little bit about her story, which is extremely inspiring. It's something I think you guys really want to hear. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Yo, so that was a crazy ass workout. Yo, Thank you for coming along and pushing me and showing me some new things with the, what is the thing called again?
Inertiawave.
Inertiawave. Yeah, shout out to Inertiawave. Now, by the way, if you guys haven't already, head over to Stormy's Instagram page. It's right here. I am Stormy Knight. All you gotta do is follow her there on Instagram. Please do that for us right now. But anyways, I know the people that may be going over to check out your profile now, or that may know you already, may just see you as one of the leading females as a first form athlete. But I know, there's a deeper story, and I kind of want to dive in on that if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to. Last year in April, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, which is a thyroid disease, and also lupus. And my collagen complex is that of lupus and RA. And for the last 3-4 years, which Omar's been knowing me, I've been actually battling with that silently and trying to just get a handle on my health and take back that power, so that way I'm able to fix it and just kind of focus and adjust my lifestyle accordingly. And to be honest with you, like, that has been the biggest silent battle I've ever endured outside of social media, where I really wanted to get a handle on my health, so that way I'm able to help other women and men who are going through the same issues as me find that voice, find that power, so that way they can take it back and be able to feel good again, but if not better than they were before.
As you guys can see, this is one of the reasons why I admire her. And a lot of people may not be too familiar with lupus, you know, and I do know that it could attack your joints, and that's something that I could kind of speak to, but I'm sure there are other effects that you deal with on a day-to-day basis that I'm sure people don't necessarily understand, and I kind of want you to just dive in on that, just so you could so people can understand the strength that you have, and what kind of woman you truly are.
Yeah, so lupus is an autoimmune disease along with Hashimoto's. It's a thyroid disease, and a lot of people actually aren't familiar with it, including doctors. They're not that educated with autoimmune disease, even though it's actually on the rise. So soon, 1 out of every 4 people are actually going to have an autoimmune disorder, and it goes underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed many times, and they actually get put on different medications that actually cause more problems long ways down the line. And that is something I've been enduring myself. So for the last for 3-4 years I've been seeing doctors, and they've misdiagnosed me, and they thought that I just needed to take a break, or I was burnt out, or I needed to see a psychologist to help me through all that, in which I've listened to them, but the problem still exists. So with the autoimmune disease that I'm battling with, it causes like thyroid issues, and your thyroid regulates your metabolism, for example. It regulates your hormones, for example. Without that function of your thyroid, it completely is out of whack, and that means your sleep's off, that means your eating's off, your weight is up and down, your voice goes out like mine, you just don't sleep, your emotions are out of whack as well, and then not only that, you can't focus, and then emotionally you're triggered all the time, you're tired all the time, you're out of breath all the time. So it does affect every single function in your body, because your thyroid is everything. And then with lupus, when your antibody count is through the roof, your T cells start attacking a lot of your body, and that's what causes the constant inflammation. So once you get a handle on your inflammation a little bit better through food, certain supplements, vitamins, minerals, like natural stuff, and then with medication, you can kind of control it, perhaps put it into remission, depending on what stage it is in, and then you're able to kind of progress in life, but you still have to be careful. With me, it does affect the way I work out, for example. Like if any of you guys follow me, Omar remembers too, I used to go hard in the gym and lift heavy, and a lot of people thought that I lost weight just because I wanted to. I worked really hard to put on muscle to gain that ability to be up there with everybody else, and then soon I wanted to compete. Everything kind of went downhill when my autoimmunity kind of got out of control, and that's when I started losing all kinds of weight. And then at one point I was up near 165, and then I dropped to my lowest, which is 132. I lost all the muscle, all the weight, and I've been trying and struggling to put the weight back on. But because of my thyroid, and since it's so out of whack, and I've been trying to take medication, but my body, how it responds personally, it rejects medication. It doesn't react well to it. In fact, it makes things worse. So for a person like me dealing with my autoimmunity, I actually have to turn to food. I have to turn to vitamins, minerals, herbs, spices in order to get a handle on it. And then once I fix those deficiencies and really get to the root cause, then maybe I can add that medication in there once everything's already fixed, if that makes sense. And I feel like people should take that approach regardless of having an autoimmune disease or not, because you want to be able to set yourself up for success, so that way you don't get to the point where I'm at. I want to touch on a point where people may ask, well, how did I get this? Was I born with it? Since I was 16, I was going through a lot of things with my body just up and down. Well, I just thought that was normal because a woman's weight goes up and down, and it's just normal. So many different changes, and our bodies are so complex, and I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't until I needed help getting out of bed, I needed help going to take a shower, I needed help to eat, that I knew there was something wrong. And at some point, even my loved ones, they started seeing my bones start showing more, and I started losing more of my weight, and I just couldn't control it. I mean, I was even telling Omar, you guys, I was eating a box of waffles a night for a whole entire month.
It's crazy.
Paleo waffles. Y'all see me, you always see me, I'm always making waffle sandwiches. If you ever see me on my story, I'm always making waffle sandwiches, and I'm always just eating a stack of pancakes or something, and I'm trying to gain weight, but I can't because my thyroid it does whatever it wants to do. So whatever triggers it, whether it's stress, whether I'm not sleeping right, or if I have something I'm not supposed to have, it triggers it, and then that's when my body goes into a bad flare-up, and my body starts dropping crazy weight. So I'm just trying to find ways where I can like gain weight and still hold on to it, eat the right kind of carbs. But as soon as I get on a good roll, something triggers my body, especially stress, and that's when everything falls downhill. Just experiencing that the last four years, and it came after I was really stressed out, after I was going through different life changes. It's like my body took a hit and I couldn't recover. If you guys ever experienced that, like when your body takes hits over and over again and you just don't feel the same. Something's wrong, like your body's misfiring. And for me, that was like the scariest moment because I lost confidence in who I was. I didn't know who Stormy Knight was. This wasn't what I was taught or what I worked so hard for. I had other goals, obligations, and everything stopped. Everything completely stopped where I had to reassess everything I was doing. And then I had to stop hanging out with my friends who have the same goals as me because I had to get a handle on my health. I had to figure out what's going on, and at that point I felt like I was in a dark space. I was in so much pain that I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, I wanted to give up on life. I would wake up in pain. I would be in so much pain. I would sweat. I would sweat 3 times a night throughout all my clothes, and I would have to take 3 showers a night. And it was all like that throughout all last year, and it's still like that from time to time. When I'm undergoing so much pain, your body can't handle it, starts sweating, tensing up and you just are so exhausted by it. I lose sleep over that. And I kind of isolated myself with that because my friends don't understand. And I'm emotional in a sense where I want my friends to understand, but it's not their place to. Everybody's going through their own battles. And in those moments, I really felt alone. But taking a break to heal, to understand what I'm going through and accept it and be okay with it was the first step of me trying to get better.
No, I think that's crazy because the strength you just displayed. I mean, you're extremely vulnerable right now, and that's not easy to do. It takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable, especially, you know, when the camera's around. Just picking up off of everything that you just laid out, you know, I'm curious now to know like where your mental is at, because I obviously know physically, you know, you're enduring a lot, you know, and I know that could put a lot for someone with like ourselves who have such an active lifestyle and have to be dealing with something that I guess hinders, you know, our lifestyle. It could do a lot to our mental. Where are you at now in terms of your mental space and how things have been?
I think I am starting on a better path than I was before. It's both good and bad. Going through a lot of pain, you want to end it in a way where it doesn't exist anymore. And I had to not play the victim. I was trying to experience everything and not try and fight it, because before I was fighting it, I was denying what was happening. Even my family was denying it. Even though my family, they knew I was going to the doctors and the doctors were saying certain things, and it was all on a paper, all diagnosed. We didn't want to believe that was happening to me, because they've seen me, an athlete my whole life, and just working hard and excited, just a thrill seeker, you know, and I still am, but things have changed because of me dealing with pain. In order for me to save my energy or not get overwhelmed or put myself in an induced flare-up with stress, I have to conserve myself. So I did change, and I had to be realistic with myself and honest, completely honest. And I think that's what it was for me as far as my mental changing. If anything, I had to literally look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, it is what it is. It's like jumping in a cold pool. It's cold. It's like me dealing with my new lifestyle. This is my new lifestyle. I am an autoimmune warrior, and that's what it is. It's not wrong with it.
No.
It's just part of my lifestyle. Yep. Nothing else changed. But guess what? I get a chance to be better than I was before. It's like a second chance. And there's no way I'm going to not take that opportunity, because that's what I see it as. It's an opportunity for me to get my life together. It's an opportunity for me to help other people going through the same thing silently. And even though I've been silent about it for some time now, I've been trying to heal, secretly trying to talk to people and just hear them out, and they're sharing knowledge with me and vice versa. I think it's been rebuilding up my confidence, because to be honest with you, it has been shattered all last year. I'm not really being able to talk to my friends, because you talk to your friends and they don't know, so therefore they're going to speculate other stuff. And even though you're explaining it to them, they're still not going to get it. And it's not for them to get. You know, it's not. It's just they can only handle so much. So why am I putting that on my friends? Why am I putting that on my family for them to take that burden? It's my burden. It's my journey. And so with that, of me being truly honest, because I was crying all last year, people don't get me, people don't understand me, they're not hearing my story right. It's okay, you know, and I get a great opportunity with more clarity to share my story with people in hopes that it may motivate them, or they may find a different route, or maybe an opportunity to get better, to take power and control over their health, and to never settle in a doctor's hands. I want to talk about this because these doctors that I've seen, they actually just try to, you know, hey, let's write you a prescription and you'll be good. They try to stick me on immunosuppressants. And I'm sitting here like, this is it? So we're not going to get to the root cause, but we're going to put a Band-Aid over the crack. You know what I'm saying? So I really have a problem with that. And I have to honestly say, I am very stubborn when it comes down to that. And as the years grew on, I became even more stubborn, because these people are okay with having me sit down in a 15-minute session, not even getting to know everything, not even my background, 15-minute session of who I am at this very moment, and then label everything, compartmentalize everything, and just say, here, this is what you need. Not understanding my blood, what I'm reactive to, nothing. And I had a big problem with that. And that's the problem with the system today. And that's why we have all these things happening with everybody else. And I'm not going to settle for that. So what I chose to do was just not settle with that one doctor, who wanted to put me on immunosuppressants, and I just can imagine me taking that now in this day and age with the COVID going on. I probably would be worse, probably on those ventilators trying to make sure my life's okay, because with lupus and thyroid and all these kinds of things, it attacks my lungs, it affects my breathing just with my autoimmunity alone. So me getting sick, it's 10 times worse than anybody else. So if I have the cold, it's like the flu. I get body aches and I can't move. But if I have the flu, I go to the emergency room. I end up in the emergency room all the time. So it's my duty, my obligation, and my responsibility to educate myself, to research, and to make sure my environment is conducive for my growth.
Hello.
And that's what's most important.
Hello. So in a nutshell, your mental state is much better than what it was.
It's progressing, I have to say.
That's good. That's good. I think the last thing I really want to touch on is something that I could kind of speak to. Now I haven't had to deal with anything like lupus, and I don't even want you to think that I'm comparing the two, but because I come from a physical my previous industry is obviously football, right? And that industry is an extremely physical sport, and a lot of players walk out of that thing very really injured,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of times where I'm dealing with X, Y, and these type of injuries, and they're handing me over-the-counter drugs, whether it's been a Percocet, Vicodin, Toradol, all these things that they can legally give you, but these things are very addictive things, and the things that can tear up your digestive system, and they're just not good for you in general, and I've even found myself, and I've never even come out and say this publicly, but years ago, I found myself turning to cannabis, and being more so trying to heal myself holistically, than using these over-the-counter drugs. So I'm curious to know if that's something that has helped you along your journey. Does cannabis help you, or do they prescribe you over-the-counter drugs to help you with your conditions?
They have prescribed me over-the-counter drugs like muscle relaxers, different things like that to pretty much help me out. But that's like last case scenario. Like you, I do turn to cannabis, especially CBD creams, topical creams, things like that. Anything to help limit the inflammation, because that is one of the biggest issues I have when I have the inflammation throughout my body, especially in the brain and in the lungs. So what I want to be able to do is be able to reduce that stress, so that way I'm able to operate. And I do cycle on and off, and I feel a massive difference, but I try and incorporate it in there just to kind of keep me calm and stress-free, because everything is hypersensitive for me. Just to give you an example, I'm triggered in every sort of way, and not by choice either. I do my best to try and control it, but that's because of sometimes the autoimmunity, the pain, and when anybody's in pain, which you can relate to, you speak different, you act different, so you're not yourself. You're just like, you're experiencing pain and you're trying to explain it and convey it in a different way, which it may be misinterpreted or misunderstood through other people who don't really understand you. And so with that, I was like, I have to do things holistically, along with eating whole foods, vegetables, taking mostly of like 70% of a plant-based diet. I do take cannabis on a daily basis, at least 3 times a day, just to help me relax a little bit more, so I'm able to get things done. And personally, for me, that helps. I know for a lot of other people, they may have different experiences with it, but for me, it has been such a massive saving grace for me experiencing pain, from going from that lowest point in my life to just alleviating that inflammation, so I'm able to get other things done.
Now, that's amazing. How about your productivity on cannabis?
Oh, actually, I do get things done, believe it or not, and I find myself getting less distracted, believe it or not. That's just me personally. I get in the zone when I do stuff, and I'm able to do things, and I stick to sativa during the day, and then it's indica at night, and I just keep that flow going. I don't overdo it. I just find the right dosage for me personally, and I just keep it going, especially if I'm at home. It really helps. But if I'm on a go, I take my CBD drops with me, and that's just a saving grace. Yeah,
I think there's been such a negative stigma around cannabis users, but now more than ever, especially in states like California, Colorado, Washington, other places around the country, they're starting to change their perspective on cannabis users, and I think that's amazing, because a lot of us aren't lazy and couch potatoes. A lot of us do get things done. Our productivity actually increases, on cannabis, because we're able to lock in and focus, so That's great. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me and listening to that.
Yeah, no. I think it's great. I think there's a lot of people who may be watching this video, if not now, maybe in the future, who will be dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with. Because we're all dealing with the same shit. We're all human.
Absolutely.
We're all going through our own trials and tribulations, but there's so many things that we can learn from one another. And I think a lot of people are going to get a lot out of this story that you share with us today. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining us on today's episode. If you haven't already, be sure to head over to my new Patreon page where there are incentives if you decide to support me and my channel. Also, be on the lookout soon. Merch is coming really, really soon. I know I keep saying that, but we're doing the best we can. And
hey, you guys, don't forget to check out the Inertiawave. We use it in our workout video today. It's a lightweight type of rope. It's just like the battle ropes, but it's only 2.5 pounds. And then not only that, you're able to really condition your metabolic system. So you have to check it out.
Hello. I will drop that link below as well as her discount code. It'll be all in the description below. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, bang that like button, comment, subscribe, and until next time, we are.
Peace.